In this video, I'm going to show you how I made my own transition strip. And we're going to do it right now. Before we get into the video, I want to let you know that I actually never planned on posting this video. And the reason is because the way my floors are, they aren't even, they actually are a step up. And what I did here was I made a really thin piece and I kind of leaned it against the higher floor, and I didn't fill it with glue on the backside here. I didn't want to do that with the vinyl floor because it needs to move around. So my only suggestion is to do this with floors that are even. And having a nice thin transition strip like this will be nice because it's not going to be a trip hazard. The best thing to do with a step up is to have something nice and flat here, notch out the bottom of the transition strip and have that sit flat against that. So I basically made the wrong transition strip and I ended up stepping on it the wrong way and breaking it. But I'm still gonna post this video because I think there might be some stuff in here that could be useful, including making this nice thin transition strip for floors that sit even. So here you go, enjoy. This is basically what I'm gonna do here. Just a little tiny strip. This is the same type of hardwood here. I ripped it down this way, ripped it down this way, and then just rounded this right over. And I'm basically just gonna put it right here. Vinyl floors do need some room to expand and contract, so I'm hoping it's not gonna be a problem attaching it like this. I'm gonna shoot some nails into the hardwood, so that way this floor can move around either way here. Another option, if you're worried about that, is to make one that's a little wider. This is a very simple mock-up. It's not perfect. Just wanted to show you what you could do if you're making your own. This one, you'll have a little more play right here, but this will also be higher. I could probably sand this down a little bit to make it a little nicer, but that way, this floor will have plenty of room to move, and again, just shoot this into the hardwood. But I'm gonna do this, and it's very simple to make, and I had leftover hardwood and poly to match this floor, so it's gonna be no cost to me. I'm gonna take a measurement for the width, 30¼ strong. I'm gonna write that right on my mock-up here, 30¼ strong, and I'm gonna go make a piece. So this is just going to be 2 rips on the table saw. First, I'm going to cut it to width here, and then I will cut it to width here. So I'm going to do this at 1¼ inch. Check it. Good. Blade height, and cut it. My blade height. Cut this just a shy over 1/8. I'm going to be sanding it down anyways, so I want to leave some room. About there, about 3/16. Rip it! As you saw, I ripped this halfway and then pulled it up, and then I flipped it and ripped it the rest of the way and pulled it out. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to lose my fingers. If I had somebody else here that was pulling it through as I was pushing it, I may have done it that way. But you always got to be a little afraid of your tools, because it would be no good if your finger touched that blade. This is maybe a $150 saw, not a saw stop. If my finger touches that, that blade is going to keep going and it's going to be bad. So just be careful. I got my piece and my digits. Now I'm going to round these edges over and sand down this entire thing. And you can do this any way you want. You don't even have to obviously do a piece like this, but this is how I'm doing mine. I cut it a little long so that way I can attach it right here. Because I don't have a bench sander, I'm just going to put a nail in right there and a nail in right here, and that's going to hold it while I sand it. So I'll do this side, round it over, and then I'll take this out, flip it, and do the other side. It'd be really helpful if I had a bench sander. I'm just going to use a belt sander. Just trying to go as even as possible to get a nice rounded edge here. That looks good. Looks pretty even all the way down. Now I can flip it. That's why I like having a crappy looking workbench. You don't have to be scared to mess it up. I do this side. Now it's all sanded with the belt sander. I got two nice edges on it. I'm just gonna touch it up with some finer sandpaper and make it nice. That's nice. Okay. Now you can cut it to length. 30 1/4 strong. Hey, let's go see how it fits. I think it's going to fit good. The only thing I have to do is cut this LVP back even so that this sits properly. Because if I try and hold it the same distance from this jam to here, it is a weeble wobble. So I want to cut this back to about what this is and make a straight line. Nice. Get rid of these. Need that. And I'll put it in place so it's even. And then shoot a couple nails into the wood and not the LVP. Try and keep it away from the edge a little bit so it doesn't split. Nice and even. So now since I used a smaller piece, the transition will be hidden under the door. And on this side, I'll just poly it so it matches the existing red oak in here. What hack did that trim? That was me, long time ago. I think it looks good. What do you think? You could also put some glue under this if you wanted. I just didn't want any to touch the LVP here. I'm gonna put a coat of poly on this. Let's see how it looks. No tape. Risky move, Matt. This is just clear satin poly. The same thing I used on the floor. I also didn't fill these nail holes. That is my preference. As with everything else, you can do what you want to do. So I ended up doing another coat of poly on that, and it came out great. But the only thing is, it didn't last. I stepped on it the wrong way, it broke, and instead what I ended up doing is this one right here. Just got a piece of vinyl to match. This is a step-up piece, and this isn't that bad. It's pretty thin, just like this one. It's a lot bigger, and it goes into the room a little bit, but for what it is, it's definitely gonna work. So hopefully, if you wanted to make something like this, preferably for floors that are even with each other, a nice thin transition strip, it's pretty easy, and I hope the video helped. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.